For DMR today, you have what is the GCF of 45 and 54. Remember, GCF is greatest common factor, which means that our first step is to prime factorize those two numbers. So remember from last week, we have to break those numbers down and we get 45. Then we have to break that down. My 4 did not go. And then I'm going to break it down. So I got to ask myself, what times what gives me 45? I know that I can do 9 times 5. So I have 9 and I have 5. Alright, and then I am breaking down my composite number, and then I'm circling my prime numbers. Remember, I told you always to write down or have somewhere near you your list of prime numbers at least to 13. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13 were the ones that I kind of told you to kind of keep in the habit of remembering. So I did say 5, so I'm going to circle 5. So I'm going to do step 2, circle my prime numbers, and I know 5 is prime. And I didn't say 9. And the reason I didn't say 9 is because 9 times 1 is not the only factors that go into 9. You also have 3 times 3. So I can break down this 9 to 3 and 3 because it's 3 times 3. So I put my 3, and then I got to determine, am I going to make those my apples? So I have 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. And I said 3, so I'm going to circle my 3s because they are my prime numbers, because only 3 times 1 is the only thing that gives me 3 times 1 is the only thing that gives me 3, or the only factors that give me 3. Alright, so now that I have all apples that end my 45, that means I'm done with 45. So now I have to do 54. If I'm doing 54, if I'm getting 54 done, I'm going to drag my 5, I'm going to drag my 4, and I'm going to begin breaking it down. So I'm going to break down 54. I ask myself, what times what gives me 54? Well, I know that 9 times 6 gives me 54. So I'm going to start off by doing 9 times 6. So I put my 6 and my 9. And then I'm going to begin breaking them if they're composite. Well, I already know that 9 is composite, so I'm going to start off by breaking up 9, because I know that, because I did it over here with 45, of breaking it down to its prime numbers, and it was 3 times 3 gave me 9. So I'm going to leave, instead of doing more work for myself, I know those are my prime numbers as well, because 3 times 3 is 9, and I know I can circle them because I circled them when I did 45. So I'm going to circle them on 54. Okay, so now that they're circled, I have to go to 6. Well, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. I did not say 6. So 6 must have more than one set of factors. 1 times 6 gives me 6, and so does 2 times 3. So I can break up 6 to 2 times 3. So I'm going to break up 6, and I'm going to get 2 and 3. Well, I know 3 is prime because I circled it with when I did 9 times 9. So I know 3 is prime, so I'm going to circle 3. And then I have 2, because that's the first list of my prime numbers, and 2 times 1 is the only 2 whole numbers that give me 2, so I'm going to circle 2. So now that step 1 of the breaking it down into prime factorization and step 2, circling all your prime numbers, is completed. Now I got to go to step 3, which is list the prime numbers. So my first number that I have to 45. I want to list my prime numbers. The prime numbers are the numbers you circled. So the numbers I circled was 3 times 3 times 5. Now remember, when you put them in prime factorization, you need to put them in order from least to greatest. So now we have 54. So I'm going to put 54. So I'm going to list my prime factorizations in order from least to greatest. The numbers that I circled was 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so now that I have my numbers listed, now I'm going to begin by circling the numbers that match. Remember, you're matching socks. So you're going to circle your 3 and 3. And then I'm actually going to put this 3 to this over here. And that little dot helps you angle your circles. So I'm actually going to make that 3 go with this 3. And then I have another set of 3's that match. So I'm going to drag my circle over the 3. And then that little dot, once you see the T, you can angle it so you can circle the other numbers. So you angle it and you'll circle your 3 and 3. Now that I've circled, I have nothing that matches the 2 above, and I have nothing that matches the 5 above or below. I don't have anything I can circle with this 3, so all my socks are found. So now I have to cover up my bottom row, and once that bottom row is covered up, I look at the top to see what numbers are circled. And the only 2 numbers that are circled are 3 and 3. So I have 3 times 3. And then I just have to find the GCF, so 3 times 3 is 9. So your GCF is 9. A lot of steps, I know. However, we'll get in the habit of doing it, and we'll be good to go. Okay, that's DMR for Monday.